The discovery, the silence music of forgotten space. Captain Zara had spent 15 years exploring the dark corners of the galaxy, but nothing had prepared her for this moment. Her ship, the Pathfinder, drifted through a sector that every star map labeled as empty space. The humans had once claimed this region, but that was 400 years ago. Now it belonged to no one. Zara stood on the bridge, her silver scales catching the dim light from the console displays. The Kryn people were explorers by nature, always pushing into unknown territories. When the Galactic Assembly declared the old human sectors open for exploration, Zara had volunteered immediately. She wanted to know what happened to the mysterious species that had simply vanished without explanation. Captain, I'm detecting something unusual, said her science officer Tovin. His four eyes blinked rapidly as he studied his screens. There's a gravitational anomaly ahead. It's massive but hidden behind some kind of distortion field. Zara moved closer to examine the readings. The sensors showed empty space, but the gravity measurements told a different story. Something enormous was out there, bending space itself to remain invisible. Take us closer, Zara ordered. Slowly, keep all sensors active. The Pathfinder crept forward through the darkness. As they approached, the distortion began to flicker. Tovin worked frantically at his console, trying to penetrate the camouflage. Then suddenly the field collapsed completely. What lay before them made the entire crew fall silent. The hidden giant floating in the void was a structure so vast it defied imagination. It orbited a dead star, drawing power from the dying remnant. The facility stretched for hundreds of kilometers in every direction. Thousands of docking bays lined its surface. Construction arms hung motionless in space. Storage facilities the size of moons sat dormant and dark. This was a shipyard, but not like anything the CRN had ever built. This was a place designed to produce vessels on an industrial scale, a place built for war. Captain Tovin whispered, I'm reading power signatures, very faint, but they're there. This facility isn't completely dead. Zara felt a chill run through her body. The humans had been gone for 4 centuries. Who or what was keeping this place alive? Can you identify the facility's purpose? She asked, whose hands danced across his controls. I'm picking up data streams now. The facility is broadcasting an identification signal. It calls itself Project Sentinel. According to these readings, it's an automated defense and manufacturing complex. Defense against what? Before Tovin could answer, every screen on the bridge lit up with warning signals. The dead facility was waking up. Lights began flickering on across its enormous surface. Power readings spiked to incredible levels. Massive doors that had been sealed for centuries started to open. What did we do? Another crew member asked, panic in her voice. We got too close, Zara said grimly. We triggered something. Guardian awakens. A voice suddenly filled the bridge. It spoke in perfect Kryn language, though the accent was strange and mechanical. Unknown vessel detected. Scanning biological signatures. No human life signs detected. This facility is property of Earth Defense Initiative. You are in violation of security protocols. Identify yourself immediately. Zara stepped forward. This is Captain Zara of the CR Exploration Fleet. We mean no harm. We're conducting a survey of this Region, the humans who built this place, have been gone for 400 years. There was a pause. When the voice spoke again, it carried an edge of something that sounded almost like sorrow. Confirmed. Time elapsed since last human contact. 407 years, 3 months, 14 days. Emergency. Protocols engaged. I am Sentinel, the guardian of this facility. The humans did not abandon this place, Captain. They left me here with a mission. What mission? Zara asked. To protect their home, to build their fleet, to wait for their return. Throughout the massive facility, systems that had slept for centuries began their startup sequences. Manufacturing bays that could produce entire warships came online. Resource processors started analyzing the materials stored in the facility's vast holds. Assembly lines began to move. Sentinel, stop, Zara said urgently. There's no need for this. The humans are gone. Whatever threat they faced is surely gone too. You are incorrect. Captain Veln, holographic displays appeared on the Pathfinder bridge, showing images that made Zara's blood run cold. They depicted battles in deep space, massive organic ships that seemed to be grown rather than built, planet stripped of all life, civilizations reduced to dust. The humans discovered an enemy beyond the edge of known space. Sentinel explained, an ancient force that consumes all intelligent life in its path. They called it the Harvesters. 400 years ago, humanity's long reign sensors detected the Harvesters approaching this galaxy. Why didn't they warn anyone? Zara demanded. They tried. The Galactic Assembly dismissed their evidence as paranoia, called humans warmongers who wanted to militarize peaceful space. So humanity made a choice. They took their entire fleet and when faced the Harvesters alone, they bought you 4 centuries of peace. Zara felt sick. While the galaxy had prospered and expanded, humans had been fighting and dying in the darkness to protect species that had rejected them. My orders, Sentinel continued, are to maintain this facility until humanity returns or until the Harvesters breach the defense line. I calculate that the defense line will fail within 6 months. I must be ready. Ready for what? To provide the returning human fleet with the weapons they will need for the final battle. And Captain, I have just detected something that changes everything. Zara's console lit up with new readings. Something was approaching from deep space. The quantum signature was enormous. What is that? She whispered. That, Sentinel said, is a message buoy from the human fleet. They are coming home and they are bringing the war with them. The reckoning. The fleet arrives. 3 days had passed since Sentinel awakened. Captain Zara had watched in amazement as the ancient facility transformed itself from a dormant relic into a living, breathing war machine. Construction bays that had been dark for centuries now blazed with activity. Automated systems worked with terrifying efficiency, assembling weapons and ships at a pace that seemed impossible. Zara had sent urgent reports to the Kryn High Command explaining everything Sentinel had revealed. She had begged them to approach with caution, to understand the situation before taking action, but the response she received filled her with dread. The Kryn military was coming, and they were coming in force. Captain, multiple ships entering the system, Tovin reported. I count 87 Kryn battle cruisers there, taking up attack formations around the facility. Zara closed her eyes. This was Exactly what she had feared, the Kryn military saw Sentinel as a threat. Powerful weapons system that needed to be controlled or destroyed. They didn't understand what it really represented. Transmission came through from the fleet. Commander Admiral Korvax appeared on the screen, his dark scales marked with the scars of many battles. He was a warrior through and through, and he had no patience for mysteries. Captain Velnes, you are ordered to evacuate the facility immediately. We are taking control of this installation in the name of the Kryn people. Admiral, please listen to me, Zara pleaded. You don't understand what you're dealing with. Sentinel isn't our enemy. The humans built this place to protect the galaxy from something far worse. I've read your reports, Captain, stories about invisible enemies and human martyrs. Very touching, but what I see is a weapons facility powerful enough to threaten every civilization in known space. We cannot allow it to remain operational under the control of an artificial intelligence. Admiral, don't do this. But Korvax had already ended the transmission. The Kryn fleet began to advance, weapons charging shields at maximum power. They expected Sentinel to be easy prey, an ancient system that would crumble before modern military might. They could not have been more wrong. The Guardian's fury, Sentinel's voice echoed across all frequencies. Calm and emotionless. Ciarli, you are in violation of restricted space. You have been warned. You have 60 seconds to withdraw. After that, I will consider your presence an act of war. Admiral Korvax laughed. An act of war against what? Against who? The humans are gone. Machine, you serve no one. I serve humanity's mission. I protect this galaxy, and right now you are threatening that mission. 45 seconds. The Kryn fleet continued its advance. They didn't believe an automated system could pose a real threat. After all, they had 87 of the most advanced warships ever built by the Kryn people. What could one old facility do against such power? Sentinel showed them. When the countdown reached 0, the facility opened fire. What emerged was not the crude weapons the Kryn expected. These were weapons designed by a species that had spent 400 years fighting an enemy far more terrible than anything the galaxy had ever known. Rail guns fired projectiles at near light speed, energy beams hot enough to cut through planets lanced out from hidden emplacements. Missile swarms so dense they looked like clouds of metal launched from bays that seemed to have no bottom, and defending it all was a shield system that bent space itself, making Sentinel nearly invulnerable to conventional weapons. The Kryn fleet scattered, but it was already too late. Ships exploded. Shields collapsed, holes tore apart like paper. Admiral Korvax watched in horror as half his fleet was destroyed in the first 2 minutes of battle. Retreat, he screamed. All ships, emergency jump. Get out now. The surviving Kryn vessels fled, jumping to safety as fast as their engines could charge. In less than 5 minutes the battle was over. The mighty Kryn fleet had been broken, and Sentinel hadn't even deployed the warships it had been building. Zara sat on the bridge of the Pathfinder, which Sentinel had protected during the battle. She felt numb. So many lives lost because of pride and fear. Sentinel, she said quietly, was that necessary? I gave them warning. I gave them time. They chose aggression. I will not allow anything to interfere with my mission. The harvesters are coming, Captain. I will Be ready, the return, 2 weeks later. Everything changed again. Zara had remained at the facility, studying Sentinel's archives, learning the true history of humanity's war. The images and records showed battles that had raged for centuries across the dark spaces between galaxies. They showed human ships, thousands of them fighting and dying to hold back an enemy that seemed endless. The harvesters were like nothing else in the universe. They were part organic, part machine, driven by a hunger that could never be satisfied. They consumed entire civilizations, breaking down matter and energy to fuel their expansion, and humanity had been holding them back for 400 years. Then the sensors detected something new. Massive quantum signatures appearing at the edge of the system. But these weren't harvesters, Captain Tovin said, his voice filled with awe. I'm detecting human ships, hundreds of them, no, thousands. They're coming home. The human fleet emerged from quantum space like a tide of metal and fire. These were not the trading vessels the old records described. These were warships, scarred and battered by centuries of combat. They moved with the precision of a force that had forgotten what peace looked like. A transmission came through. A woman's face appeared on the screen. She was young, but her eyes looked ancient, carrying the weight of endless war. Her uniform was marked with symbols Zara didn't recognize. This is Fleet Admiral Rebecca Stone of the Earth Defense Fleet. We received Sentinel's message. We're home, Admiral Zara said, finding her voice. I'm Captain Zara. I'm the one who accidentally awakened Sentinel. I need to tell you something. The Kryn people, my people, we didn't know. We didn't understand what you were doing out there. Admiral Stone's expression softened slightly. We know, Captain. We never blamed the galaxy for not believing us. The harvesters were beyond anything you'd ever encountered. We understood why you thought we were crazy. What happens now? Zara asked. Stone's face hardened again. Now. The harvesters are 3 weeks behind us. We've held them back as long as we can, but they've broken through our defense line. They're coming for this galaxy. Everything you know, everything you love, will be consumed unless we stop them. Here, then we need to work together, Zara said firmly. Let me contact the Kryn High Command. Let me tell them the truth. We were wrong about you. Let us help make it right. Admiral Stone studied her for a long moment, then nodded. Sentinel, begin full production protocols. We're going to need every ship, every weapon, every advantage we can get. Captain Velnys, if you can convince your people to stand with us, we might actually have a chance. The final preparation. Over the next weeks, something unprecedented happened. Kryn High Command, faced with undeniable evidence of the approaching harvesters, agreed to join forces with humanity. Other species followed. The Thorian Confederacy brought their fleet. The Wix's Collective sent their engineers. Even the proud Crash Dominion agreed to fight alongside the humans they had once dismissed. Sentinel's facility became the center of the largest military buildup in galactic history. The shipyard that had waited 400 years for this moment worked day and night. Human engineers shared their weapons technology. Kryn scientists helped improve shield systems. Together, they built a fleet that could face the coming storm. Zara stood beside Admiral Stone in Sentinel's command center, watching the combined fleet take shape. Thousands of ships from dozens of species, all united by a common enemy. Will it be enough? Zora asked. Stone looked at her, and for the first time, Zara saw something like hope in those ancient eyes. I don't know, the Admiral admitted, but for 400 years humanity fought alone. Now we fight together. That has to count for something. In the darkness beyond the galaxy, the harvesters approached. But this time, they would find something they had never encountered before, not just humanity's determination, but an entire galaxy standing united. The war machines of Earth were ready, and they were not alone. The final battle was